You're watching Times Now Live. I am Swati Joshi. A new political storm has erupted in Haryana over the death of two bank employees. Last night, a bank manager and cashier died when their car got stuck in a waterlogged underpass. According to reports, the incident unfolded at around 11 p.m. in the flooded old Faridabad railway underpass. The two men were going home from Gurugram when their car got trapped. Reports say they managed to come out of the car but couldn't swim and drowned. The first body was recovered minutes after the tragedy, while the second body was recovered at 5 a.m. this morning. Here's what the police are saying.
इसमें दो आदमी आते हैं और वो तेज गति से पुलिस के इशारे को ना मानकर सीधे उन्होंने सोचा कि बड़ी गाड़ी है, पानी में से निकल जाएगी। तो उन्होंने सीधी गाड़ी निकालने का प्रयास किया और अंदर जाके गाड़ी रुकी, जिनमें से एक का नाम पुन्ना आसरे, जो सीतापुर का रहने वाला है, ब्रांच मैनेजर सेक्टर 31 गुड़गांव में है, उसमें HDFC बैंक में। एक उसका साथी था दूसरा, जिसका नाम क्या नाम विराज नाम है, और वे दोनों एक ही गाड़ी में थे। जब गाड़ी अंदर फंस गई तो पुलिस ने और पब्लिक के लोगों की मदद से साथ के साथ एक आदमी को, जो मैनेजर था, उसको साथ के साथ ही निकाल लिया, परंतु उस टाइम वो पानी पी चुका था। नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, बैरिकेडिंग लगी हुई थी, परंतु उसमें इतना स्पेस था कि गाड़ी निकल जाए।
Let's now take a look at a ground report on what really happened.
I'm currently standing at a police station in Faridabad, and behind me you can see this blue SUV that got submerged in waterlogged underpass yesterday, leading to death of two bank employees. Now, on the front seat of the car, you can see this is their tiffin, and this shows a very sad reality. Both of them were returning from work. They worked in a bank in Gurugram, and they were coming from Gurugram to Faridabad when this incident in fact took place. Now, I'm currently at the police station, and the big question is who is responsible for the death of Viraj and Puneshri. The family is saying that the entire area that led to the underpass was not barricaded by the police, and nobody stopped these deceased and this car from going to that area. But police is now saying that in fact there were some officials there who tried to stop this SUV car from going to that locality, but the car did not stop. But big question here is that right now we can see that there is barricading at the stop, but what about last night when this incident took place? Well, in the case of Civic Apathy, two bank employees have lost their life after drowning in a waterlogged underpass that you can see behind me. This incident happened, in fact, at 11 o'clock last night. And these two bank employees were coming from this side of the road. And as they took left from this side, there you can see there is the waterlogged underpass that you can see on your screens. And they did not anticipate that this would be completely filled with water. And hence, though they tried to come out of their cars, they managed to do that, but they could not swim and get out of this water-filled underpass is what we're getting to know. And even though right now the police has barricaded this entire area, the locals as well as the family is saying that this is too little, too late, because last night there was no barricading, and clearly this underpass was completely filled with water that led to death of these two bank employees. In fact, we have a witness here who in fact also managed to bring out the victims last night, their bodies last night. कल क्या हुआ था, कितने बजे की ये घटना है और आप किस तरह उन लोगों को बाहर लेके आ पाए?
ये घटना होगी 11 बजे की। 10:58 में मुझे फोन आया था, उधर से भागते हुए आए हम, शोर शराबा हो रहा था यहाँ। तो क्या हुआ, शोर शराबा करते हुए तो यहाँ लोग कोई घुस नहीं रहा था पानी के अंदर। मैंने बोला घुसो पानी के अंदर, कोई घुसने के लिए तैयार नहीं, सब डर रहे थे। मैं फिर एक बंदा और हम दो पानी में घुसे। वहाँ से एक बंदा तो खींच के ले आए हम, जो दूसरा बंदा था ड्राइवर था, वो गाड़ी से निकल चुका था उस टाइम तक। वो निकल के खुद कोशिश करी होगी, वो तो पानी में अंदर ही था वो कहीं। दूसरे को खींच लिया हमने, खींच के वहाँ गाड़ी के टायर के पास था, वो भी नीचे गिरा हुआ था, उसने कोशिश करी होगी निकलने की। तो वो बंदे को हम खींच के यहाँ तक लाए, बाहर तक बड़ी मुश्किल से आया था वो भी, क्योंकि पानी बहुत हाई है, वो आगे 14-13 फुट का पानी है कम से कम। उसे यहाँ तक लाए, उसे पंप किया, उसने मुंह से भी ऑक्सीजन देने की कोशिश की, जो साथ में बंदा था बेचारा। उसने फिर हमने अपनी गाड़ी में स्कॉर्पियो में डाला, उसको लेकर गए हम हॉस्पिटल। वहाँ डॉक्टर कह रहे हो तो भाई 10-15-20 में आधा घंटा हो चुका है उसको मरे हुए उस बंदे को कम से भी कम। फिर वहाँ से वापस आए, दूसरा बंदा खूब कोशिश करी, नाव से भी, मतलब वोटिंग सब हुई है इसमें। वो बंदा सुबह 5 बजे मिला है फिर दूसरा बंदा।
As investigation into the case continues, politics has begun. The Congress and RJD have slammed Haryana government, saying this tragedy is a result of unplanned construction by the ruling party. Meanwhile, the BJP has hit back, accusing opposition of playing politics over dead bodies.
इसलिए तो बीजेपी से स्मार्ट सिटी जो बता रहे थे उसका जवाब मांगेंगे कि ऐसा ही स्मार्ट सिटी है जो डेली इस तरह के जो परिस्थितियां हो रही हैं सारे प्रदेश के अंदर, पूरी तरह से सारे जल भराव जगह 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 हो रहे हैं, सारे सीवर खुले पड़े रहते हैं, रोज प्रतिदिन घटनाएं हो रही हैं, कोई सरकार का कोई अधिकारी को ध्यान देने के लिए नहीं। नगर निगम में 200 करोड़ का घोटाला सीधा जो वो पकड़ा गया था, वो तो उसके बावजूद भी वहाँ पर कोई हालत सुधर नहीं रहे।
What is the condition of Delhi, which is ruled by the Aam Aadmi Party? How many places are flooded? You have a similar situation happening in the capital of India. And what is happening in Bengaluru? They never ask questions. But when an election comes, then it's negligence. The police authorities are clearly saying they were told and warned not to go into that passage. They did. It's an accident. It's a tragedy. We regret it. We believe we should see that the families are taken care of. There are many situations like this in Delhi. And how many of them don't make news? Because primarily when it's election time, this becomes news.
Let's open this up and let's go across to our guests. We're joined by Prabhlod Singh, political analyst. We have Vijay Kaushik with us, Congress leader, and Dr. Sudhir Krishna, former Secretary, Ministry of Urban Development. I want to bring in Prabhlod Singh first. Is this smart city? That's what the opposition is asking.
So I see different components in this. So number one is what has happened is very sad. We've lost 2 innocent souls because of, like your reporter rightly called out, it's civic apathy. Now, we need to ensure that the administration, the local administration, is held accountable. Now, when I hear some of the politicians say that there were cops on duty and they did stop the SUV, but it still decided to, ignore the warning. I'd like to add here that whenever there is a VIP movement and cops are deployed to stop the traffic, at that time, the cops ensure that not one vehicle crosses the barricade for a VIP movement. But when it's a matter of life and death, when the administration should ensure that the residents of the area, they should be safe in a flood-like situation. And in that situation, they are saying that we probably had some cops there and the cops tried to stop the SUV, but the SUV ignored the warning. Whenever there is a VIP movement, do you hear any such incident that there was a VIP movement, the traffic was stopped, but few SUVs decided to ignore the warning? It never happens like that. So it clearly is a mistake on the part of the local administration. Number two, I would like to call out here, all the opposition leaders that are now blaming the government are equally responsible, because as an opposition, they have not been responsible enough. Why do they always start putting, pointing the finger towards the government when some tragedy like this happens? And why do they not do something before that? As an opposition, it is their duty to ensure something like this does not happen. And if they think the government is not doing
जवाब दीजिए कि political blame game नहीं होना चाहिए.
बिल्कुल.
देखिए, सबसे पहले मैं आपके चैनल का धन्यवाद करना चाहता हूं, दिल से आभार व्यक्त करता हूं कि आपके चैनल ने प्रशासन की, सरकार की पोल खोल कर रख दी है. आप जरा फिर से रिपीट कीजिएगा पुलिस वाले क्या कह रहे हैं, और जो हम प्रत्यक्षदर्शी थे जिनके मुताबिक उन्होंने उन युवकों को निकाला, उस युवक को निकालकर हॉस्पिटल ले गए. तो पहली चीज, अगर बैरिकेड्स लगे हुए थे तो उसके बीच में इतनी जगह क्या थी कि भाई गाड़ियां आराम से निकल जा रही थी. खुद पुलिस वाले ने कहा है कि बैरिकेड्स लगा रखे थे लेकिन फिर भी इतनी जगह थी, क्यों थी भैया? दूसरी बात, पुलिस ने कहा कि हमने वार्निंग दी, ये भी झूठ है. तीसरा, उन्होंने कहा कि हमने तुरंत उनकी जान बचाने के लिए दौड़े, जबकि जो मौके के प्रत्यक्षदर्शी हैं वो क्या कह रहे हैं आपके कैमरे के आगे कि कोई अंदर जाने के लिए तैयार नहीं था, लेकिन वो लोग घुसे और वो उस एक मैनेजर को जो है निकाल कर लाए, और अगले दिन सुबह 5 बजे दूसरी जो है लाश मिली पुलिस को, प्रशासन को. तो भाई पुलिस सच कह रही है या जो मौके के प्रत्यक्षदर्शी थे जिन्होंने उन युवाओं की जान बचाने की कोशिश की वो सच कह रहे हैं? अब आपके चैनल को ये सच्चाई देश की जनता के सामने रखनी होगी। पहली बात, दूसरी बात,
Okay, all right. Now this is also a call-in show. Call-in show. Our viewers are calling us in. They want their voices to be heard. Since it's a case of civic apathy, and it's not just Faridabad or not just happening in Haryana. People have lost their lives due to civic apathy across the country. Let's go across to our first viewer. Krishna is joining us from Mumbai. Go ahead. Good evening.
Good evening. This is regarding the apathy of the municipal corporations, and now what is this what you call smart city? A smart city can become a smart city only if you have smart people living in that. When a person knows that the underpass is full of water, what business did he have to take a car into that? I know I'm very sorry that he lost his life, but at the same time, if he had been a little more prudent, a little more careful, he could have saved not one but two lives. That is his personal war with them.
All right. Thank you for putting forth your view. We also have Sylvie joining us from the national capital. Please go ahead. Good evening.
Yes. Yes, somebody in the panel just now said when there is water, why the person should go into the water.
No, that was a viewer.
This is the height of, that is a viewer. The viewer has not experienced, what about, leave alone Faridabad. He has not experienced this Delhi water logging. Yesterday, I was going from Vasant Kunj to Friends Colony and back. You know what kind of U-turns we have? There was no light. Ms. Atishi is one of the MLAs over there. All over the place, these people claim so many things, these politicians. I was so scared. Night when I was returning at around 7 o'clock, it was such a heavy traffic and there was no water. It was raining cats and dogs. What kind of capital city we have? Faridabad to dur ki baat hai, Delhi mein.
All right. Sylvie, the previous caller, Krishna, was from Mumbai, so he certainly knows what waterlogging is. He has experienced it, I am sure, every single day when the monsoon season arrives. And there could have been error in judgment as far as the two victims are concerned. They would not have anticipated, this is going to be the situation. It was the job of the cops there to stop them from moving ahead. We have Usha joining us from the national capital. Usha ji, go ahead. Good evening.
गुड इवनिंग मैडम, स्वाति मैडम बोल रही हैं आप?
जी जी बोलिए उषा जी।
एक तो मैं पहले आपको ये बोल रही हूँ कि मेरा छोटा सा बेटा है ना, वो आपका बहुत बड़ा फैन है।
थैंक यू उषा जी, थैंक यू सो मच।
मैं ये कह रही हूँ मैडम, अगर इतना पानी भरा हुआ आगे तो वैसे तो जाना भी नहीं चाहिए, चाहे कितना भी रिस्क हो या कुछ हो, इनको गाड़ी दूसरी ओर मोड़ लेनी चाहिए थी ना। इतना हम भी अगर कुछ जगह पानी भरा होता है हमारे आसपास तो हम उस जगह से नहीं जाते हैं, चाहे कितना भी वो दूसरा रास्ता चुन। जरूरी है थोड़ा पानी के बीच में से गाड़ी निकालनी है।
आपका कहना है कि सतर्क रहना चाहिए था, सावधान रहना चाहिए था, रिस्क नहीं लेना चाहिए था। शुक्रिया उषा जी, थैंक यू फॉर जॉइनिंग अस। वी आल्सो हैव शांति स्वरूप जॉइनिंग अस फ्रॉम विजयवाड़ा। गो अहेड, गुड इवनिंग।
Madam, namaste. This is a very bad incident, madam. We are very sorry. And this is government must notify the area and troubling the people like this the manholes and everything. One thing, only one of them telling, everybody will first time to Delhi or another place, anywhere, not in the sense of only Delhi. This is the major substation to the public.
All right.
Every time.
Thank you very much, Shanti Swaroop ji, for calling us. Let me go across to Dr. Krishna. Dr. Krishna, most of the viewers are of the opinion that the victim should have avoided taking that path. They should have taken one U-turn. But, since this is a regular affair, almost happens every monsoon season, is that the reason why they perhaps thought that, maybe they won't end up being stuck in a situation? And it was the job really of the cops who are now shirking responsibility to have stopped them.
Well, I think the roads in Gurgaon, Faridabad, I live in this area, and they are so in such horrible condition, and water is logging everywhere. So if you start avoiding water, then you will reach nowhere, because water is everywhere, and you don't know how deep the water is here or there. And and the potholes are becoming bigger by the day, because apparently the drains are all choked. So the situation is to be tackled not only by police but by the municipal corporation as well as by the road owning agencies. This underpass, I do not know who owns this. Is it the municipal corporation of Faridabad or it may be, maybe the government of Haryana, or maybe some other, who's, I do not know who owns. So the authority who owns this underpass and such underpasses or the road sections, they also should take care that, people are using their road. Police is the, final agent of the government for stopping people and so on. So we cannot load the police for, preventing people from taking care of the potholes and filled roads here and there. That's all right. They might have failed in their duty in barricading. That also is to be examined. That is another matter. But I don't think that the entire load can go on police. The municipal administration of the city is
Absolutely. The administration, first of all, is responsible. If you know that such situation arises every time during every monsoon, why aren't better arrangements made? Why aren't we prepared? Number two, like you said, yes, the cops should have also done their job better in terms of barricading. Why was there space for a vehicle to pass? If the barricades were placed, they were placed there for a reason. And all those people who today are saying that the victim should have taken a different decision, they should have avoided the path, the route. We don't know what situation they were in the first place. It could have been a error in their judgment. Is it fair to blame them? That's also one of the questions. We have Maya joining us from Hyderabad. Thank you very much for joining us. Good evening. Go ahead.
Yeah, good evening to everybody. Actually, I'm calling from Hyderabad. It happens here also. Okay, it happens everywhere. But the point is, like, at 11 in the night, or let's say 10:30 in the night, if people are, just getting into water, in dark, that's also questionable. I mean, any sensible person wouldn't do that. Having said that, it happens across every state, and as you rightly put across, saying that, the government or the administration should take care of it, and they should be well planned for the monsoon. Because they'll always...
All right, but Maya, there's one thing that I don't agree with, that people should not enter such a lane when it's dark and there's water, because, like I said, and I want to bring in Prablod Singh ji, since we are living in such a situation where we face this situation every monsoon, people do not anticipate if it is going to be, a situation where they could lose their lives. Isn't it job of the authorities to make it safe, the job of the administration to make it safe? Why are we paying taxes for?
Absolutely. It is severe injustice to the taxpayer, Swati. And it's very, very unfair to say that those who, take their vehicles to such areas, they are not sensible enough. That's very sad, because we are talking about two people who've just lost their lives. So it is the duty of the administration to ensure that the people living in the area have a safe infrastructure available to them for which they are paying their taxes. And second thing is, like I earlier mentioned, whenever there is any VIP movement, any such thing, the cops ensure not one vehicle crosses the barrier. But here, it's a flood situation. For heaven's sake, it's an emergency situation for the administration. And I tell you, Swati, the reality of Gurgaon, Faridabad, and most of the metro cities right now, I'm not here to pinpoint blame at any one political party, but the reality is that you will find many more cops stationed outside each liquor vent in Gurgaon and Faridabad than you would, catering to the barricades.
Okay, विजय कौशिक जी, मैं जानती हूँ कि आप अपनी बात रखना चाहते हैं. हमारे पास एक व्यूअर फरीदाबाद से ही हैं. उनसे पहले मैं बात कर लेती हूँ, फिर मैं आपके पास आऊंगी. राजन, go ahead.
Yeah, ma'am, I am in Delhi since 1948. The bridge, under Winter Road Bridge, gets flooded. The underpass and Ames get flooded. They have been, Delhi is made into a Venice of India, I think. That thing, and blame people for not. If my house is on the other side, what do I do? Do I get a boat to cross first? It's amazing. And the gentleman just now said, Faridabad, Gurgaon, and all these places, the same thing. My house flooded every
I get the point that you're making. Unfortunately, we have some network issues, but I get your point completely. Thank you very much for joining us. We also have Mr. Srinivas joining us from Baroda. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good evening, Swati. See, this is a chronic problem across all the states. And unfortunately, nobody is really, the administration is not taking care of such issues. So sometimes I feel the politicians or the administration, they are not at fault. It is the citizens who are at fault. Because if such thing happens, people should just go to all the administrative office and stand there and make and ensure that all these works are carried out on SOS basis.
Well, people do register their protest, Mr. Srinivas, through social media or through marches, through protests. What changes is the big question. विजय कौशिक जी, और हमने आज नहीं, ये हम सालों से देखते आ रहे हैं, और ये एक फरीदाबाद की दिक्कत नहीं है, ये पूरे देश की, जहां अलग अलग सरकारें हैं, कांग्रेस की भी सरकार है, बीजेपी की सरकार है, लोग इतना यूज्ड टू हो गए हैं सिविक एपैथी से कि अपने घर से निकलते हैं, हमें काम पर जाना है, ठीक है, बाढ़ आ रही है, सड़क टूटी फूटी है, लेकिन हमें तो अपने काम पर जाना है, हमें तो अपनी रोजी रोटी कमानी है, इसलिए लोग भी यूज्ड टू हो चुके हैं क्या सिविक एपैथी से?
स्वाति जी, मैं जवाब दूं इसका?
जी जी
स्वाति जी, जी देखिए, मैं आपको कुछ चीजें बताना चाहता हूं। जनता की अपनी मजबूरी है। अगर 12 घंटे काम करने के बाद में जब आदमी अपने घर जा रहा है और अगर सारे पुलों पर जाम है, हर जगह जाम ही जाम है, तो हर किसी को अपने घर पहुंचने की जल्दी होती है। मैं इस अंडरपास की सच्चाई आपको बताता हूं। ये अंडरपास बड़ा कंजेस्टेड है। अगर आप इसमें एक बार घुस गए तो यू टर्न का कोई सिस्टम नहीं है। पहली बात आप ये जान लीजिए। यानी कि अगर आपने एंट्री की तो आपकी कोशिश ये रहेगी किसी भी तरीके से आप बस क्रॉस कर जाएं उसे। तो वही कोशिश इन दोनों ने शायद की होगी, पहली बात। दूसरी बात, जो प्रत्यक्षदर्शी हैं उन्होंने क्लियर कहा कि भाई वो लोग निकाल कर लाए, यानी कि वहां उस टाइम पुलिस नहीं थी जब वो निकाल कर लाए, उन्होंने पुलिस का कोई जिक्र नहीं किया। तीसरी बात, यहाँ पर कोई लाइट का सिस्टम नहीं है, कोई लाइट का सिस्टम नहीं है। और भ्रष्टाचार का उदाहरण ये है कि जब ये अंडरपास बनाया गया था तो डिपार्टमेंट और सरकार ने दावा किया था कि हमने यहाँ पर 7 कुएं बनाए हैं।
Okay, I want to give the last word to Dr. Krishna, because Dr. Krishna, it's not like this is one isolated incident. This is just one underpass, and that too in Faridabad, where this incident has happened. There are several such underpasses in the national capital also that are flooded during monsoon, because we do not prepare ourselves before monsoon, and then to end up blaming the victims, saying they should have taken a different path. It was dark. Why did you enter the water? Why did you enter the underpass? You risked your own life. It is insensitive.
Very absolutely. I think the government authorities have to be sensitized. They have to be sensitive to the situation. If it is raining heavily for continuously so many days and weeks, I think a strategy has to be designed. It doesn't seem that the administration, the authorities who are there, whether municipal corporation or whoever is involved, they are showing concern about the normal life of the people, because normal life has to go on. People have to go to office, school, or businesses, or wherever they have to go. How they will go? Look at the condition of foot walkers. I mean, I just pity when I drive my car. I do not know what to do about the people who have to walk, who have to bicycle. I mean, their life is in danger because we do not know where their foot is going, how many feet or deep their foot will go. Car can somehow take a bump and it can survive. So I think it is high time that this incident, people have sacrificed their life. It should become a beacon. It should become a kind of, idea for all the administrative authorities, all the municipal.
Absolutely. And what baffles me is that the same roads, the same underpasses are taken by the babus, the top officials and the politicians as well. So how can and why are you not concerned about it? Because everybody's life is at risk. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us.